more interactive ability and tactileness. So, no! No!
So, if you're afraid that the Argo SRV has way too much trolling potential, CIG is aware of the issues. And they somewhat approve. So, today on RTV, CIG kind of did what could amount to something of a brief pre-Q&A to the Argo SRV. Of course, the official Q&A is probably going to hit Monday or Tuesday of next week, but they kind of gave us a brief preview, and they discussed a lot of topics that were raised by the audience in regards to the Argo SRV, and a lot of these questions kind of dealt with the trolling potential of a ship that is built to tow other ships up into space or off the surface of planets or out of, detrimental situations and even into quantum. Yes, that was confirmed that the intention is for this ship or a group of these ships to be able to tow another ship into quantum, which was one of the things I was very interested to hear. And I was very pleased to hear that that was indeed a feature. Otherwise, the ship would be semi-pointless if it couldn't do that. But CIG also dealt heavily with the topic of this ship being, a potential troll machine. And I have to say that I really liked the way that they were dealing with this. Now, does this mean that the Argo SRV can just turn up and just grab any ship and just haul it away? Not exactly. If the ship's shields up, if the ship's systems are powered up, it's going to be very, very difficult to do, if not impossible. Of course, that ship will also be potentially firing back at you, which could have something of a disastrous outcome. But they did admit the fact that if you were to leave your ship somewhere, especially if it's a small ship, something, say, the size of a Cutlass or a fighter, if you were to park it somewhere in a powered down state without its shields up, because shields give it a natural resistance to these tractor beams, then it is indeed possible that one or a group of these ships could arrive and scoop up your ship and take it away from you, especially if you're not on the ship. So if you were to, say, park a Cutlass somewhere, hop on your space bike and go travel some distance, and someone found your ship powered off, left hidden in a canyon or something like that, they could grab your ship and fly it away. Now, to somebody who's going to go out and fly their ship solo or, try to do things without the help of other people, this could be some serious bad news. But to someone who's going out there and probably has an NPC crew left behind to guard their ship, or players who are in their group as well who are guarding their ship while they go off to do something, then the risk, I would say, is probably going to be far lower. And of course, CIG did say that, this is something that we're going to keep an eye on. This is just an idea. This has not materialized yet. This ship is not in the universe as of yet, but it is something that they're going to keep an eye on to make sure it doesn't get too hellish or too brutal. But at the same time, it is something that they kind of want to, have in the game, that there isn't some all kind of mystical force, controlling other players' actions so that, you can't do that because it would be mean. It's saying that these things can happen, so you have to be careful. You have to think about things. You can't just kind of go out and do things. So, on the one hand, it may look like, oh man, CIG is going out and giving power to players to troll other players. But remember, this is a knife that cuts both ways. Someone can do this to you, you can do this to someone. So it all depends on how these things work themselves out in the end and what kind of balance CIG is looking to strike once players go out and test something like this. Now you have to remember that recently we also heard that NPCs are going to start looking for illegal cargo and things like that. Of course, if you see a bunch of these ships hauling another ship that's marked as stolen, bad things are going to happen. Players are really going to have to think, not just on, on the player who's landing their ship somewhere, but the players who are stealing that ship are going to have to think about the long-term consequences of getting caught doing something like this. It's going to be interesting to see where all this kind of falls together. And, recently I'd talked in a couple episodes about, players having to kind of face the consequences of their action. And right now we're in a universe where really we only seem to face very simple consequences. We don't face any long-term consequences. The next time the servers reset, we get all our money back, we have all our ships, we go and we do it again, right? Whereas in the future, it may not simply be that easy, and there may be long-term consequences to our actions. So I'm going to be very intrigued to see where this falls. And since the sale of this ship ends on March the 4th, I'm kind of tempted. I'm kind of tempted by this ship. I think there's some interesting potential here. And I don't know, I may have to scoop one up before the sale ends. Maybe. But anyways, the Q&A should come out at the beginning of next week, and that should give us a lot more idea of what the real potential of the ship is. Until then, there's probably going to be some unanswered questions. Of course, that RTV is very worthwhile to watch, very informative, well done. And hopefully at some point in the future, we'll have some more information as to possibly when we can expect to see this ship in the universe. But for now, that's all I got for you. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.